Perched high above the city of Baltimore, Maryland, from Magooby's Joke House, comes the tale of 5 brave adventurers and their intrepid audiomancer on a journey wrought with magic, mayhem, and dick jokes. For this is Laugh Finder.
Welcome to Laugh Finder!
Hey guys, welcome to Laugh Finder. This, I guess you would call it episode 34.1.
Yeah.
Because
Are we not Baltimore's premier Paizo-based?
Of course, we are always Baltimore premier Paizo-based comedy podcast. I'm Tommy Sinbazo.
Oh.
And I'll be me. No, but this season
we didn't come here for this.
I should have rolled something better.
Sorry.
I just heard the whole internet turn off.
I heard the sound of a million dicks going flaccid.
Just the sound of one hand clapping.
It's like it's like that scene from Star Wars. It's like a million stars cried out. That's the sound of everyone going flaccid.
But guys, we just wrapped season 4. And it was the last adventure of the Odd Company, the characters that we all started with.
Yeah.
Or that most of this table started with.
Yeah.
2 of us started.
Yeah, it is only 2.
I've started nothing here. This is a refreshing episode.
But I wanted to end this. This is just going to be a short episode this season. Next week, or this is going to be a short episode this week. Next week, we're going to be doing a character building episode for season 5. Where you can hear us roll up and make the characters for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Dorian is very excited because he has a whole new story lined up, and you get to hear about our new characters. But this week...
I feel like every episode builds character.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know, man. I've lost some friends along this way.
So this is, Tommy, this is like an epilogue episode.
It is, because I feel, well, I mean...
We're going to process together
Yes.
about everything we've been through.
Yes.
Like a group of veterans, grizzled old veterans.
Been in the shit, man. No, but I had, I guess, let's go around the table first. Ladies and gentlemen, sitting in our guest seat, which is no guest at all, but a member of our family. He is usually sitting behind the the Quality Time soundboard of power, but now he's at the big boy table temporarily, you piece of shit. Ladies and gentlemen,
your nose clean.
audio manager extraordinaire, Mr. Ben Hancock.
Kids, get down here. You need to do Ben's intro.
We're doing it live.
I don't care if you're asleep. Get up.
Wake the fuck up.
I have strep throat. You scream into this microphone. Use that kid. All right, and then sitting next to Ben is my metal show buddy.
Hey, man. What's
and
up, dude?
Co-actor and Die Laughing Productions. He's actor, comedian, and professional nudist, Mr. Eric Woodward.
Oh, hey, Thomas. Thanks for having me again.
What time's on, Daddy?
You know what hard time is. I'm very excited about the end of this season. Not because, listen, I feel like I was thrown in the mix. I came in as a replacement, and you guys have really made me feel like I'm part of the gang now. And now that we're starting this new adventure next season, I'm very excited that now I get to start with the ground running and form the relationships within the party that I always felt are here in real life.
That totally reminds me. I forgot to tell you, Eric, you're off the podcast.
Okay, well, that was good. It was a good run.
Burn these bridges now.
Hey, don't you have to take care of your mom or something?
you know I'm a horrible family man. That's it. But we are Metal Buddy. Are we just doing quick intros?
Yeah. Quick intros.
Okay,
We'll do this. Yeah, we did that on the CarCast, which if you guys aren't members of our Patreon, go to Patreon. I'm going to start trying to stick to it more, but every time I ride to a show with Eric, we're going to do a CarCast.
You guys went and saw Amon Amarth?
Yeah, we saw Amon Amarth.
Was it awesome?
Oh, man, it
It
was so
fucking
fucking good.
rocked.
There was
Did
a
you get
band.
in with your plastic horn?
Yeah, I did. I did, and I drank from it, and
I was instantly jealous. I thought it was the stupidest thing.
I know.
I
until
out Tommy.
He got a beer.
You know what it's like to out Tommy at an event?
He got a beer and like he pours it into this cup and into the horn, and the horn had a strap so you could wear it around his neck.
Yeah.
And I
Incredible.
was like, "Yeah, God, what a fucking idiot!"
I was just like, look at my free hands.
Until we're watching, there was one band going on, and the whole crowd's going like clapping, and Eric has both hands free. I'm slapping my leg,
Because you're holding your beer.
and I'm like, "God damn it!"
It felt good, and the whole time I remember multiple times Tommy leaning. He was like, "I should have brought my fucking horn." Like, this is-
Wait, you had a horn at home and you didn't bring it?
I don't know where it is.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't. It's not.
So if not for an Amon Amarth show, what is the horn for?
it's decoration.
and moving on, it's my sex horn. I fill it with chopped jelly meat. It's my sex horn.
Sweaty and greasy on the inside.
That's how he measures out his keto diet every day. He has one horn of food.
I'm like, guys, I only use two sides of that for sex: the outside and the inside.
It's like a penis sheath. Isn't that what those
Yeah, I have a weird shaped dick. It's horn shaped. Speaking of weird,
No. I don't.
no,
I'm Brian Preston. I'm Brian Preston.
You're not going to be able to beat the intro you gave him on our finale.
That's good.
Was it good?
It was. We've been playing a lot of Overwatch.
We have. Yeah. Oh no.
On the Switch.
Yes. Which we didn't just buy.
Oh,
I don't,
no,
no,
yeah.
no, we didn't. We don't.
No,
we don't
yeah.
play a lot of Overwatch on the
Boo,
Switch.
we
No.
hate Blizzard.
Yeah. No. I personally believe that I side with the Hong Kong protesters on this, and I hate censorship. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to play
I don't know,
Overwatch on
man.
tablet.
It's really good on the Switch. It
is.
kind of makes me be like, how good are rights?
I mean, it is like, man, it's cool because you can watch TV when you do it, and also like everyone on the Switch is like worse than everyone on PS4. Like, I should not be getting golds with Lucio and like fucking kills and shit.
So
That should not be
Nintendo's on the wrong side of history right now? or-
No.
Blizzard
Oh,
is on
Blizzard
the wrong
Entertainment.
side. Yeah,
Nice.
they're on the wrong side of history.
They
And while-
are.
Yeah, and while we're at it,
Hey.
guys, it's October, and don't forget, Susan G. Komen's a huge fucking scam. Okay, that's my
Yeah.
intro.
Susan, hey, let's not forget. I know this is going to be a touchy subject for you and me, Brian.
Yeah.
But let's not mention there's another video game out there we probably shouldn't be playing. WWE 2K.
Oh, 2K20, yeah, it looks real bad. I don't know how you make a game look worse than it was last
I mean,
year.
they do go to Saudi Arabia every year, and they're not allowed to bring any of their women wrestlers.
No, they go to Saudi Arabia multiple times a year.
Yeah.
And
What?
Yeah, no.
It's kind of going under, like, people are starting to like take notice of the NBA and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and they're like, oh, WWE is just skating on this, huh? They're just gonna we go to
No,
Saudi
great.
Arabia every single
Hey,
2 times a year.
Remember,
Yeah.
listeners, you were here when Eric Hannibal Burris, the NBA,
the WWE, AEW for life, baby.
Yeah, no, it's weird. They had to waterboard Bailey.
Yeah. Don't leave her big ass out of
Yeah.
this. I love
We
her.
all do.
and the heart of the table, sitting next to Brian, WYPR Rock Guy, Mr. Aaron Hagen.
Man,
You got
I
a
went
puppy?
through. Yeah, I got a puppy. Well, I didn't get
Really?
a puppy. The wife got a puppy.
That's every animal I own.
Every animal that's come into our house has
Makes
been
it easier to put them down.
done
when the others-
unilaterally by my wife.
Do you consider your children animals?
There's
Leave it on the board.
There's no asking. There's no pre.
Did you just come home and you're like, what does that smell?
Well,
I shit myself. Also, we got a dog.
How did I step in shit in my living room?
I got a
Jim's mom.
I got a picture on my phone. A picture on my phone of a dog in the backseat of her car. She's like, I'm on my way home. It's like she doesn't believe in consent. My wife.
So, hold on. Did you...
She raped you with a
You
dog?
got puppy rape?
I get pet raped over and over again.
I think it's
we call
time
this
to.
episode puppy rape.
Yeah.
They call it puppy rape.
No, that song is canceled. That song is canceled now.
She brings an animal home and then she holds her hand over my mouth and she says, "I don't like this."
But are you warming up? What's the dog's name?
I
What's
have
this
to tell you-
bitch's name?
The dog is absolutely
Jessica.
adorable. Nellie. We named her Nellie.
Oh,
she have
after
a
your
band name?
favorite rapper.
No, because she's a nervous Nellie.
Just
Do
like
you know
your
what her
favorite
breed is?
rapper.
She's like she looks like a little miniature, like
I'm
teacup
nervous.
German Shepherd.
Yeah,
She's like an Australian cattle dog. Like she's a mutt from the rescue, but that's what people are saying. She looks
man.
like a dingo.
Oh, nice.
Wow,
It's
nice.
pronounced dingus.
It's a good thing your kids are older.
Yeah.
That's my proper form of birth control is dingoes. Come on down to
weak children.
Plan Dingo.
Plan D.
Here at Rocco's Modern Planned Parenthood.
He wasn't a dingo.
He's a
Yeah,
wallaby.
he was.
He's
Oh,
a wallaby.
I thought he was a dingo.
Hello, I'm a wallaby.
Is he a wallaby?
Yeah, he's a wallaby.
Heifer.
That's
Pretty
actually
sure.
pretty
Who
good.
is
Did
a
he have an
dingo?
Australian accent?
Yeah,
I don't
Rocco.
remember that.
Rocco's
Rocco
fucking-
had an Australian accent.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good, Rocco.
Thank you.
I'm consorting the internet.
No,
'cause I don't
Rocco's a
believe
fucking
you.
wallaby.
Yeah.
I am a ride or die of Rocco's Modern Life.
It had what I call the most "how did you get away with that" moment.
With the berry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck, Rocco is a wallaby. Shit. I was living my whole life as him as a dingo.
I don't know what the fuck
What the
any
fuck?
of you were talking about.
There's
I
There
feel
was
like
a
I'm
cartoon.
having a Mandela effect moment right now.
Yeah.
I've literally lived up until I'm from a different dimension.
You know what?
Where he was
Just
great.
because you're wrong doesn't mean you can start claiming that you're from a different
That's how it
dimension.
works now.
All right,
That's the world we
Mysterio.
live in.
We get it, Mysterio.
Wait, what? I'm kidding.
Okay, and sitting across from me behind a big old stack of books, ladies and gentlemen, the best damn librarian at the table, actor, comedian, writer, Mr. Dorian Gray.
Hello. And this is Dorian. I'm very excited to be planning for this next season. I've spent the last couple of weeks, like Julia wanted to go on vacation to Mexico, and technically I went, but
My heart was in Gomorrah.
yes.
Galarian.
Galarian.
Galarian, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
and so I've been studying, working on hip hop songs, but also studying and like jotting down notes and like I'm going farther with this season than I've ever gone before. So like when the
Penetration.
yes, when the first season, when the first episode happens, I shall have maps to hand out to everyone so that they can have a clear understanding of where they are, because it's really gonna matter. And
Oh, God, we're going to be in a... You wake up, there's a construction on your face, and you see a television monitor. You've lived your life rolling dice. Now it's time the dice roll you. Or something. I'm not good at poetry.
To your left. To your left is a healing potion. Or an oil of fiery burning. Your hit points are low.
Wait a minute.
What game is this that you
Wait
guys
a minute.
are?
Is the oil
Saw.
of fiery burning? Is it
yeah.
Pepsi or Coke? Because I don't do Pepsi.
It's an oil of fiery burning 0.
Burn it!
One potion is a healing potion. The other has a bunch of carbs and gluten.
My peanut allergy.
but yeah, I'm really excited. I've put more effort, more in-depth like research and planning into this than I have in any of the others.
Well, I'm glad you're finally taking some effort. I was tired of you coasting by on your good looks on this podcast.
So as we reflect
on this audio podcast.
The Odd Company in this past season, I think we should go around the table and talk about the moment that we'll remember most from this past season as The Odd Company.
This past season or the Odd Company as a whole?
Or just, I don't know, what do we want?
Oh, shit. Well, that's... okay.
Maybe just this past season. This past season's adventure. What was the moment that taught you the most about yourself, Eric Woodworth?
The moment that taught me the most, the moment I was asked to be on, I had to go through an immense amount of learning, a lot of learning and creating of characters. But as far as joining the Odd Company, I would say my defining moment was a person leaving this show so that I was allowed in. That would be number one. I'll tell you,
The
my
Black
favorite,
Widow move of
my favorite. I think I only had one episode where I actually did something kind of cool. Most of the time, I just fired wildly like Yosemite Sam with my character and missed a lot of shots. But there was the one where we had to get that giant were rat and the lycanthropin blood, and I was almost on the brink of death, and you guys brought me back, and I got to shoot one bullet and save the day. That was my defining moment of last season, and probably the only contribution I had to helping any of you.
Well, you did. You were the one that killed the Drow priestess, though.
Yes, I did kill the Drow priestess. That was easy.
That was it was funny. It was funny when I said she's dead and Brian blurted out, "Oh, thank God."
Now, where do you see at the end of the adventure? What did Big Slee end up doing?
Well, Big Slee, most likely he went down to the local barbershop, got himself a haircut because he likes to keep clean, and it had been an arduous journey up until that point, did he? And I'm sure he just went on to his gambling and whoring ways until he died of colon cancer 2 years later.
That's very aggressive colon cancer.
Roll a save versus colon cancer.
Rolling for the safe, boss.
Roll a perception check to see if you notice any polyps.
My colon's gone.
Hey, we surviving cancer with a 10?
No bonuses to add to that.
It was we were looking for a 19 or higher. Ooh, later, boys!
Sorry, you got a homeopathic doctor.
Dude, you know what you should do? Okay, hear me out, guys. It's like Pathfinder, but it's just called hospice, and it's just like people in a fucking hospice, and you role play as them. And shit, and you're just like, I'd like to roll to keep my medication down. It's like, I rolled a once, like, you throw up your medication all over yourself, and also because you didn't get your medication, you shit yourself. I'd like to roll for dignity. You do not die with it.
Actually, the price of your drugs went up to a place you can't afford. I'd like to roll to bluff to see if I can make him believe my insurance still works.
I'd like to roll an intimidate check on my children to see if me saying I'll write them out of the will get them to pay. I'm saying, guys, we say fuck this and we just make hospice the new.
Dude, hospice actually sounds amazing.
Right? All right.
Tommy Simbazo,
Hear that,
Arcane. What was Arcane's most glorious moment of
I
this
went
past
full
season?
necromancer this season.
You went through a real character change.
I did. I started just collecting bodies and stuff, and at the end of the final battle, I had a dragon. I had some ghouls, a ghast.
Yeah, you were throwing ghoul teeth
I was
around
just-
and making people appear and then marching them into a wall of blades.
And it was a real hindrance to the forces of evil because those ghouls were nothing to Vinesh, but they did take up space.
Yeah.
And so he couldn't move anywhere.
Well, they did exact some damage on Vinesh by going through the lawnmower blade
Yeah,
wall.
they got him
and
all-
just
they got him
spraying
dirty.
Their
He's like, "Ugh, some of those got in my mouth." No, but I believe I've always said that Arcane. I wanted the end of Arcane's days. He's just tired of biological life forms. He just starts gathering more and more dead, and just finds a crypt or a dungeon somewhere to be the end boss of.
Oh,
And
yeah,
just goes
yeah,
and just
yeah, that's awesome.
Sits in there, and when people come in, he's like, more faces.
And boss, you say?
Oh no!
I like to imagine that Arcane is just sitting like you ever seen like the Marvel comic about the Maestro who's like the evil Hulk.
Yes.
And he's just sitting there with all of the Avengers like goodies like Cap's shield and everything. I imagine you're just sitting in a dungeon with all of our fucking belongings because you've just slowly murdered us over the years and collected things. And they were like, yes, this was Brian at one time. Actual the player, not even his character.
This is Brian's, and in this display case is an uncircumcised dick. Notice it's caramel hue.
I gave it to Bobo.
Jesus Christ.
What do you think Ben's most greatest audiomancing accomplishment was of season 3?
If I were to vote, I would say some of his hilarious trolls on Tommy's intro.
Yeah,
I like those.
they were good.
I think I only got one good intro that whole season.
Oh, what's that like? You son of a bitch!
And what about you, Brian? Holy John.
Oh, well, Holy John.
R.I.P.
Well, actually, technically, I did talk to Dorian after, and
Yeah, what's this? What's this?
Okay.
yeah.
So I was reading the rules for second edition, and it goes over hero points, and you start with 1 hero point, and you can use them for various things. But one of the things you can use your hero points is if you drop below 0 hit points, you can spend your hero point to immediately be stable at 0.
Oh.
And so I was reading that, and I was like, was this a thing in Pathfinder First Edition? And it turns out that it was.
Oh.
And so you all had that option all this time. We never went into it.
You know who would have known about that?
Who?
Jim.
No.
Yeah.
You don't think Jim? I don't know. Jim was a
I
bit of
bet
a
he
rules
would
Nazi.
have, yeah.
Well, he was a selective rules Nazi, specifically for how much damage he could do, specifically.
Well,
So-
if I was reading these rules correctly, and I know the least out of anybody at this table, so I'll consider myself an expert.
It's the American
No,
way.
is that
You're
the
white
first,
enough to just consider yourself an
If I'm checking my privilege card here, no, there's the first rule of Pathfinder is that all the rules are the rules, as long as you guys agree that it isn't a rule, then you guys can all play how you guys like. Right? That's how it.
Well,
And we agreed that Brian and Aaron are dead.
Yes, and so they're dead.
Get back
right?
by-
Yeah.
I
This is
swear to God,
this is
Ben.
a
This
this
why we
is
don't
a
let you sit at the table.
avengocracy.
This is you motherfucker.
If there is no consequences,
You best to employ them. Big boy privileges. You son of a bitch.
Feels good for now.
well, let's just give Brian his 8th place trophy. Let's just do it.
6 of us. There's fucking 6 of us.
You're behind some guests.
Okay, that's no. I have the most
place.
shirts. I win.
Now, who would you guys? Okay, so
All right,
what,
my
what do you
favorite-
think? Yeah, what do you?
Oh, my favorite moments. Oh, definitely for me, I would say my favorite moments were the times when I would steal other people's identities.
Yeah.
And then that was a lot of fun stuff. I think my favorite one of those, though, would have to be when I was talking to Volo Brenmeyer about finding his brother's dead corpse that people had been fucking.
Creaming and a beaming.
Dude, that,
You
That
took on a great voice when you would be
Yeah.
be pretending to talk like convincingly like someone else.
Act real surprised if I use that next season.
Brian, that whole episode you bluff checked your way through was amazing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
That was
was
really-
sitting here as just like, how's this even happening right now?
And to see
Strong-ass
Dorian
mother.
roll something to go.
Yeah, so that's probably my favorite. Of them.
What was it? Let me just give you a chance, an opportunity for a rebuttal, if you would,
Yeah.
to all of the introductions you've gotten over the course of this past season. What is it like to week after week start the episode with that kind of verbal abuse?
There was one.
I don't know. I guess it's like a combination of like Stockholm syndrome, I guess, where it's like over time I felt that I needed the abuse.
You deserved it.
Yeah, I just like needless to say, when we're making What's Love Got to Do with It, the Laugh Finder story, my Angela Bassett-esque arc, as we have a very strong Ike and Tina, I think, dynamic this season.
Little known fact: Tuesday through Sunday, when he's not taping with us, at precisely 7 p.m., Brian will go in the bathroom and cut his arm.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that is
this
true.
is what Tommy would want.
What are you doing then, Brian?
And our next guest will be playing Holy John. And then I just like, just like, I just hum Rump Shaker and I cut myself.
Just playing the old flesh violin right now.
Blood Shaker.
So, Brian, where do you think Holy John? Because he didn't die.
If he's not dead, well, he's out there, just solving mystery. You know what? He's probably solving mysteries like one of your shitty '80s TV detectives. I would like to think. That's really what he did. A lot of his stuff was like like loves magic and shit, was like, so yeah, I'd like to think he started like some sort of loosely religiously affiliated, because you know what, for being an inquisitor, not that much of a religious fanatic, did love solving mysteries and impersonating people, so I'd imagine, it's going out there solving adventures and getting into,
I can see it. Holy John P.I.
Exactly. It's like Baywatch Nights. But
He's like a tiefling with like a mustache and a Hawaiian shirt.
And what about you, Aaron? Wilhelm Mordecus. You're one of probably a character that's very near and dear to your heart. Named after Bill Ward.
Yeah. Wilhelm, I came to feel very attached to him. And, the last episode, when it really became clear that, he had officially died, it was...
Did you go home and punch your wife, kick the dog?
There wasn't a dog to kick at that point, but there is now.
You hear that, Dorian? If you kill him again, he's going to kick that cute dog.
No.
It's one of your favorite Wilhelm moments.
I have two favorite moments.
Okay.
From this past season. Moment number one that will always stick with me is when Arcane, out of the pure kindness, unsolicited kindness of his heart, gave a ring of spell power to his friend Big Slee.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's fucking teamwork.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then Wilhelm himself was the recipient of Arcane's generosity too, then near the end when he got that special Norplant rod that would increase his armor class. I mean...
And then you gave me some garbage mace.
Yeah, nobody wanted my present, but that's fine. I feel like there were some real emotional Oscar clips this past season.
It's real tour de force.
And then also, I have to say, like, just from a strategic gameplay standpoint, the things I witnessed members of the Odd Company conceiving of and executing this past season was like the highest level of innovative gameplay that I've witnessed thus far. If, for example, we had a game master who gave out experience points and things like that, you would think that this past season's exploits would really deserve.
No, it's like the old Drew Carey, Whose Line Is It Anyway, where everything's made up and the points don't matter.
They do, but I have my favorite moments for each of you.
Hold on. I want to find out, where do you think Wilhelm went afterwards?
Well, if he was in fact dead.
No. Maybe he died, saw Azathoth, and then Azathoth was like, "You have a hero boy."
I came back to the corporeal plane after Azathoth informed me
you
that I had
woke up in a morgue with your chest open.
Well, you may remember, listeners, in the final episode, the Odd Company was in possession of 5 vials of mysterious black chemical. My thinking,
it's poison.
It's definitely poison.
My thinking is that
this isn't the Venom symbiote.
Black
Wilhelm Mordecus probably just proceeded to inject very small quantities of that at a time in between his toes for the rest of his days and stare off into the void, muttering about Azathoth.
What a beautiful end. Wilhelm. Oh, I became a junkie. So go ahead, Dorian.
So I have my favorite moments for each of you. I'll start with Ben's well-timed audio mancing. With the well-timed crickets and explosions. And,
always ready with those.
For Big Slee, my favorite moment for Big Slee is when you all encountered that necklace that causes pain. And you just like put it on and wouldn't take it off.
Yeah, I wore it all
couldn't
season.
take it off.
I could have. It just would have hurt. And I was like, I think that's good. That's body modification.
Yeah, that was good.
I always thought it was like, this is gonna get me in somewhere real good one day, and it didn't. I was like, I'll be able to walk right into the bubble. It didn't work at all.
Just like going to college.
For Arcane, my hands down favorite moment with Arcane is when he helped rescue Holy John after he was about to be interrogated
With the
by
dimension
Molo.
door.
Yes, that was. I was like, that's good. That's creative. actually bluffing your way in, which is one of my favorite things about what Holy John did, because I thought that particular episode was really the players were really using their brains. I thought that was really good.
That episode is Creaming and a Beaming with our guest Josh Caderna.
Yes.
Yeah, those were solid episodes.
But I also liked I also liked Holy John speaking with Dead just to talk shit to people.
A lot of good times.
I thought that was pretty funny. For Wilhelm Mordecus, my favorite moment of Wilhelm Mordecus was actually through his career a couple seasons ago. You remember you encountered a group called the Weird Fellowship?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And someone fell...
The impersonators.
Yes,
The
someone
Odd Company.
fell ill. Their Wilhelm tried to heal him and failed. And then Wilhelm healed him and succeeded and made that whole group look stupid in the eyes of the general public. Also, that speech that he gave before Elder Brenmeyer.
I was declaring jihad left and right.
Drinking Aaron loved a good jihad.
I feel like Wilhelm won the most improved award.
He earned that right to spend the rest of his days as a junkie.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, you see that old hobo? That used to be Wilhelm Wood. I'll suck your dick for a mile of black goo.
Y'all want these cheeseburgers? Also, I invented cheeseburgers.
So Dorian,
It's fun to know that Wilhelm spent the rest of his days out front of the 7-Eleven
Yeah.
of Red Point.
as the mastermind behind the trifold, give us some insight into what it's like to deal with people that perhaps have varying attention spans, varying levels
What
of
was that?
commitment to whatever happens to be going on at any given moment.
What I
How
tell
do you
people...
how do you
it's-
hold a group like this together?
It's pretty simple. I tell them it's like herding drunken anarchist cats. One thing I have found out is that people pay attention more when they're about to get fucked up.
Yeah, we all stop making jokes when we're losing in combat.
That is true.
And that's interesting to see when that's going to happen, because I never plan for you to do good or bad in combat. I just craft encounters and then I throw them at you and I see what you're going to do. And it's interesting playing a bad guy. Knowing stuff that the bad guy doesn't know, but going in this direction because the bad guy doesn't know it.
How far in advance do you plan the voices of the non-player characters that you introduce? Are you like driving here to Laugh Finder tapings, like practice like my Barsool voice?
I have the characters in my head ahead of time, of course. But it's not until we're actually playing where I'm like, where does this character sound like? I'm like, oh, yes. I would like you all to come to my study.
That was one of my favorite NPCs ever, Stefano
Yeah,
Dead
Stefano Dead.
from Starflame.
Stefano Dead, that is D-E-H-D. And then he had a brother, Buford T. Dead.
T dead.
Barsool, I believe, is one of the most sort of fleshed out, so to speak.
I'm always
characters.
excited when Barsool shows up.
Yeah.
Him and Restivo are my two favorites. I love that we got to wear him as a bassinet and take him places. I mean, that was a real magical
We got to
time
make him
for
dress
us.
him up like an egg and leave him.
Yeah, what do you think ever happened to Restivo after we
He's
left
probably
him up there?
still living the egg life.
What if that bird is raising him as his child? He
It actually did really well for him.
Embracing it,
It's the best thing could have ever happened to him.
He flies now. Like he fashioned Leonardo fucking Da Vinci-esque wings and learned how to fly like a rock.
Now, who do you guys, of all the guests that we've had this season, we've had, 32 guests, so that is 16. We've had 16
About 30.
guests.
Yeah, 16.
Who would you say was your favorite guest of the season?
I think we should just make our Mount Rushmore right now, right?
Yeah.
Let's make our
Okay,
Mount Rush.
top 4 guests.
Well, Daniel Robinette belongs there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Daniel
absolutely.
Robinette
That's a
is
great
kind
guy.
of-
Caderna is
Caderna,
he's
yeah,
always
that's
solid.
solid.
Yeah.
I thought Sonny Fuller was.
Oh, Sonny was great. Apple
yes,
scrap.
Sonny
Apple
was-
scrap, baby.
Yeah.
And I liked, does Patchen go up there? You guys liking Patchen?
Well, let's not
Is
go
Patrick-
there.
is
He
Patrick gonna
almost
listen?
killed Wilhelm Mordecus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I must abstain
Which-
from that vote.
Which Aaron succeeded at.
Yeah. I did what you couldn't do, Patchen.
Yeah.
Patchen always plays good characters. Like
Yeah,
when
yeah.
he was the tour guide ranger.
Red Point tour guide.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He was
Yeah,
always
that
great.
was good.
What about Joe Robinson?
Yeah, Joe
Yeah,
Robinson
yeah,
was pretty
yeah,
smart.
yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy Joe
He solved a
Robinson.
puzzle.
He's really
You know who
good.
I liked was the Dominican guy.
Oh,
Fernando.
Fernando
Yeah,
did
those are
really
good
good.
episodes.
He
Those are
actually
good
did really
episodes.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rob Mayer was great.
Rob
Yeah,
Mayer.
Rob was good
Yeah.
too.
we should dig up the Dragon's old tweets and have it canceled.
Yeah.
All right, are you guys ready to start this character building?
I like that we just said fuck Brian Posehn though.
No, he
That wasn't this season.
was
That was last
season
season.
three.
That was last season.
Yeah. Which, guys, the first actual episode of this season, which will be in 2 weeks from this episode, or 2 episodes from this. We might take a 1-week break.
Yeah.
But if
It'll be a clip show.
If it is Brian Posehn, then we've successfully got Brian Posehn to be our first guest. But it might be weird because Patton Oswalt is also in town on that Saturday. So they
I
might
guess
want to...
they'll both have to come.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we'll make room
We can.
for him.
Yeah, I guess.
Best case
Squeeze him in.
scenario, Brian Posehn and what's his name? Patton
Patton
Oswalt.
Oswalt.
Yeah, that what's his name guy.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you know, it's the same night as AEW Full Gear. Fuck, look at Kenny Omega too.
Yeah, I'm going with AEW.
Hey,
Full
so am
Gear.
I.
I'm going backstage, baby.
Oh, you son of a
How did you
bitch.
get backstage, Justin?
Yeah, just.
Worst case
I'm getting
scenario,
I'm getting 98.
we end
Rock
up with Patchen again.
backstage. Oh, what was I going to... Damn it, I had something pertinent to say. Fuck it.
Must
Move
not have been
on.
that important. All right, guys. Well,
That was good. It was a good
thanks
bit.
for listening to this season. Stay tuned for next season. And we love you all. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next week.
Now we're putting in audio posting. It is really hard for Ben to edit this.
Nope, it's
and
not
we're
going
talking
in. No, it's not.
over
He
top
just
of
faded it
this.
out.
This is staying in.
Is it it? Is this it?
It should.
I like it better. Hey, it's Eric Woodworth, former guest, friend, and now official sponsor of the Laugh Finder podcast. And I wanted to take a quick minute to tell you about my podcast, Quality Time. I have a very lovely co-host, Miss Kimberly Ambrose, super funny, super talented, and she joins my super deranged, super murder clown dressing brother as we break down some of the greatest films in all of history. Okay, it's mostly just horror flicks and cheesy action 90s movies. It's awesome, though. You should come check us out. We're on the iTunes, the Stitcher, the Podbean, all the major platforms. You can look for quick links on ericcomedy.com. That's my website. Please come and check it out. The friendship with Laugh Finder Podcast very much hinges on this being a successful campaign. So do yourself a favor, treat yourself to quality time. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of Laugh Finder.